The Diary of a Madman by Lu Xun, translated and read by Peter Rambo. Prologue. There were some brothers, I will not say their names, who were friends of mine in school. After being separated for many years, we'd become estranged until a few days ago, when I heard about a terrible illness in my hometown. I was returning there anyway, so I decided to pay them a visit. I first met the younger brother of the man who had fallen ill. "I appreciate you coming all this way to see us," he said, "but my brother's doing a lot better now. Actually, he's taken up a new position in the government." Laughing, he took out a 2-volume diary. As the symptoms of his brother's illness had cleared up, he said there was no harm in showing it to an old friend. I took the diary and read it through. It seemed that the writer was paranoid and had suffered from a persecution complex. The writing was incoherent and vague, and there were no dates and many strange accusations. Only by the color of the ink could I tell when the passages were written. Some parts, however, were not entirely unintelligible, and I have put them together to serve as medical research. I have not changed any of the errors in the diary, only the names, who are unknown people in any case. As for the book's title, this was chosen by the writer after his recovery, and I have not changed it. 1. This evening, the moonlight is good. I hadn't seen it for 30 years, but when I saw it today, I felt especially hopeful. I know for the last 30 years I've been confused, but now I must be careful. Why else would Zhao's dog stare at me? I have reasons to be afraid. 2. Today there is no moonlight. I know this bodes ill. I crept out carefully this morning, and Zhao's eyes looked strange. It was like he was afraid of me, like he wanted to hurt me. There was 7 or 8 people whispering about me. They were afraid I would see them. Everyone on the street was the same. The worst of them was laughing at me. I felt cold all over. I know their plans are ready, but unafraid I carried on walking. Some children ahead were talking about me too. Their eyes looked the same as Zhao's, ashen and pale. I wondered what I had done to offend them. "Tell me!" I cried out at them, unable to restrain myself, but they ran away. I wondered what I'd done to Zhao and the people on the street. The only thing I could think of was 20 years ago when I stamped on Gu's record book and made him so unhappy. But even though Zhao doesn't know Gu, I'm sure he heard the rumors. He was outraged and arranged all these people on the street who feel this bitterness towards me. But what about the children? They weren't even born then. Why did they look at me so strangely, like they were afraid, like they wanted to hurt me? I felt bewildered and hurt. I understand. Their mothers taught them. 3. This evening I cannot sleep. Everything needs research to be understood. People who were put in the stocks by the magistrate, struck by the gentry, had their wives taken and their parents hounded to death by creditors did not look as afraid and terrible as those people I saw yesterday. The strangest thing was a woman hitting her child. "I'm so angry I could eat you," she said, while looking at me. I couldn't hide my surprise. A horrible-looking group of people nearby began laughing, and just then, Chen caught up with me and dragged me home. When we got back, my family acted like they didn't recognize me. They had the same look in their eyes as everyone else. They put me in the study and locked me in there as if I was a duck or a chicken. It just made everything more confusing. I just don't understand it. A few days ago, a tenant from Wolf Village came to tell my brother that the crops had failed. He said a notorious person had been beaten to death by the villagers. A few of them had taken out his heart and his liver, fried them and eaten them for courage. When I tried to say something, my brother and the tenant looked at me. I saw today they had the same eyes as everyone else. When I think about it now, I feel cold from head to toe. They eat people. It's not unlikely they'll want to eat me too. Look at that woman. I'm so angry I could eat you, and that group of terrible-looking people and what the tenant said a few days ago, they are obviously secret signals. I see the poison in their words and the daggers in their laughter. Their teeth are white and sturdy. They are cannibals. I do not think I'm an evil person, but ever since I trod on Gu's record book, it's been harder to say. It's like they have another way of thinking, one that I cannot understand. They just suddenly turn and call someone evil. I still remember when my brother taught me to write. Regardless of how good someone was, if I wrote a few sentences criticizing them, he would circle it approvingly. If I wrote something excusing evil, then he would say that I was unique, different to everyone else. I know they're thinking because of this, how it is, and when they wish to eat. Everything needs research to be understood. In ancient times they ate people. I knew this, but the details weren't clear. I looked further into the history, but there was no dates attached to anything. Every page was slanted and askew, the Confucian principles of benevolence and morality scribbled all over them. I couldn't sleep, so I read the book until late into the night. I began to see 2 words between every line of text: eat people. These words on the page. The tenant's story. All of it stares strangely back at me. I am a person. They want to eat me. 4. This morning I sat quietly for a while. Chen brought me some rice and steamed fish. The fish's eyes were hard and white. Its mouth was red, just like all those cannibals. I ate a few bites. It was so slippery I couldn't tell if it was fish or human flesh, so I spat it out. Chen, I said, tell my brother I was feeling restless, so I went for a walk in the park. Chen didn't reply. He stepped out, waited for a while, and then opened the door. I didn't move. I'll research how they mean to manipulate me. I know they won't let me go. And sure enough, my brother brought in an old man. He walked in slowly with an ominous glint in his eyes. He was afraid I would see it and kept his head down, watching me secretly from the corner of his glasses. Today you seem to be all right? My brother said. Yes, I said. Mr. He has come to examine you today. Okay, I said, though I knew this was an executioner in disguise. He used the pretext of taking my pulse to see how fat I was. For this work, he'll get his part of my flesh. But I wasn't afraid. Even though I don't eat people, I have more courage than they do. I put up my fist to see what he'd do. The old man sat for a while, touched his glasses and remained still. He looked at me with sinister eyes. Don't be rash in your thinking, he said. Be calm for a few days. You'll feel better. Don't be rash. Be calm for a few days. If I rest for a few days, I'll get fatter, and naturally there'll be more of me for them to eat. But what good will it do me? How will that make me better? These cannibals want to eat people secretly and cover it up. Nothing is direct. I couldn't help it. I started laughing aloud with genuine pleasure. I knew that laughter was righteous, and the old man and my brother looked defeated for it, beaten back by the courage within it. But my courage made them even more eager to eat me. The old man went to leave, but before he did, he turned to my brother and whispered, Eat as soon as possible. My brother nodded his head. He was in on it too. This discovery, although unexpected, had to be kept in mind. The people who wanted to eat me included my brother. My brother is a cannibal. I am the brother of a cannibal. Even though my own brother is a cannibal, I too will be eaten. 5. In the last few days I've been thinking, suppose the old man was not an executioner, but actually a doctor. He's still a cannibal. His ancestor in the field of medicine, Li, clearly wrote in his work on herbs that human flesh can be boiled and eaten. Can he still say he's not a cannibal? As for my brother, I haven't been unfair. When he was teaching me, I heard it from his own mouth. He told me how starving parents had sold their children for food during sieges. I remember one time we were discussing someone evil. He said that we should not only kill them, but actually eat their skin and wear their corpses. I was young then. My heart raced for hours afterward. The day before yesterday, when the tenant from Wolf Village had spoken about the heart and the liver, my brother hadn't seemed surprised at all, just nodded his head. I can see his hateful thinking. Since it's all right that children can be traded for food, anything can be traded, anyone can be eaten. When I heard these ideas before, I felt confused. Now when he talks, I know human flesh is smeared on his lips and his heart is filled with cannibalism. 6. Pure darkness. Don't know if it's day or night. Zhao's dog is barking again. It's like a lion's tenacity, a rabbit's timidity, a fox's cunning. 7. I know their methods. They won't kill me directly. They're afraid of unseen disasters. Everyone is connected. The web is everywhere. They'll force me to kill myself. Looking back on the last few days, the people on the street, my brother's actions, all of it's clear. What's best would be if I took my belt and hung myself from the rafters. They wouldn't be guilty of murder and their wish would be fulfilled. Then they could laugh, naturally, joyfully. Or if I'm made thin with fright and worry, they'll only nod their heads. They only eat dead flesh. And I remember reading in a book there was something called a hyena. It looked terrible. It only ate dead meat, even the bones, chewing them to pulp. The thought would terrify anyone. The hyena was related to the wolf produced the dog. The day before yesterday, Zhao's dog was staring at me. It's in on it too, it's all arranged. That old man, Mr. He looked down with his glasses, but even he couldn't conceal the truth. The most pitiful thing is my brother. He's human. How can he not be afraid? How can he join in with this partnership that means to eat me? Did he gradually grow accustomed to it? Did he think nothing about it was wrong? Is he soothing his conscience, knowingly? I cursed the cannibals, starting with him, and I'll try to turn the cannibals, starting with him. 8. Actually, they should have already understood this kind of thinking. Someone suddenly came in. He couldn't have been more than 20 years old. His appearance wasn't clear. He was smiling. He nodded at me, but his smile wasn't genuine. Is cannibalism right? I asked. He carried on smiling. There's no famine. Why would anyone eat people? He said. I knew immediately he was part of it. He likes to eat people. I summoned up some courage. Is it right to eat people? I asked. Why are you asking me this? You're joking, right? The weather's nice today. The weather was good. The moon was bright still. Is it right? I asked him. No, he replied vaguely. It's not right? Then why are they doing it? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what I'm talking about. Everyone in Wolf Village is eating people. It's written in red ink, fresh all over the books. His face turned pale. He stared at me. Perhaps it is right, he said. After all, it's always been this way. It's always been that way. That makes it right. We have different ideas. You shouldn't talk about it. Your words are flawed. I stood up to face him, but he looked away. I was sweating all over. He was much younger than my brother, but still he was a part of this group. He must have been taught this by his mother. I'm afraid he's already taught this to his sons. That's why even the children looked at me with hatred. 9. Want to eat people. Afraid of being eaten by people. They look at each other with suspicion and gaze helplessly. If these thoughts of cannibalism could be got rid of, how comfortable walking, eating, and sleeping would be. This is a threshold, a crux. They are parents and children, brothers and friends, teachers and students, enemies and strangers. They are all part of it. They encourage each other, impede each other. Even death does not guarantee that they will change. 10. In the early morning, I went to find my brother. He was standing outside the hall door, looking up at the sky. I went to stand behind him and block the door. It was incredibly quiet. Brother, I have something to tell you, I said, especially gently. What is it? He suddenly turned to face me and nodded his head. I just have a few things to say, but I don't know how. Brother, in the beginning, the savages probably did eat human flesh, but after a while, because of better ideas, some didn't. They persevered and became people, true people. Some are still cannibals. They're like insects. The others became fish, birds, monkeys, finally people. Some people are not true people. Even today, they're still like insects. These cannibals should be so ashamed to be compared to people. Yi boiled his son and gave it to Jie and Zhou, the last tyrants of the Xia and Shang dynasties, to eat. Since Pangu, the creator, opened the heavens and earth, who knows who's been eating Yi's son, and from him to Xu Xilin, a revolutionary who had his heart and liver eaten. From Xu Xilin to that man caught in Wolf Village. Last year, when a criminal was killed, some sick person soaked up their blood with steamed bread. They want to eat me. You alone couldn't have thought of it, yet you became a part of them. They can eat me. They can also eat you. They can even eat themselves, but with just one step, one change, people can have peace. Even though it's always been this way, today we can try especially hard to do better. Say you can't, brother. I believe you can say it. The day before yesterday, when the tenant came to reduce their rent, you said you couldn't. At first he was only sneering, but now a murderous glint came into his eyes. As soon as those hidden feelings were revealed, his whole face changed. A whole group of people were standing outside, including Zhao and his dog. They were all pressing forward to peer in. I couldn't see some of their faces. It was like they were covered up. Some looked terrible, smiling with closed lips. I knew this was a group of cannibals, but I know not all are the same. Some think it has always been this way. They must eat flesh. Some know they don't have to, but still they do, fearing that others will break their veneer. So when they hear me speak, they only get more enraged, sneering with their closed-lipped smiles. This moment my brother became furious. Everyone get out. What good is it looking at a madman? I realized again their ingenuity. Not only had everything been arranged, but I was also to be labeled a madman. When they eat me, not only will it be done peacefully, but probably with gratitude. When the villagers ate that notorious man, that's the method they used. This is their ploy. Chen came in with an air of anger and indignation, but they didn't stop me talking. I had to speak to them. You can change, I said. With a sincere heart, you can change. You must know that in the future cannibals cannot exist on this earth. If you do not change, you will eat yourselves. Even if people are born, they will be wiped out, like the hunters did to the wolves, like insects. Chen rushed away. I didn't know where my brother was. Chen convinced me to go back to my room. Everything was dark. The roof beams above me began trembling, then shook violently and fell upon my body. It was so heavy I couldn't move. He wanted to kill me. I knew the weight was false. I struggled outwards, covered in sweat. Change your ways with a sincere heart, I said. And you know, in the future, there will be no cannibals left. 11. The sun does not rise. The door does not open. Every day, 2 meals. I picked up my chopsticks and began to think of my older brother. I know why my sister died now. It was because of him. My sister was only 5 then. She still had that lovely, innocent look. Mother couldn't stop her crying. My brother told her to stop, probably because he ate her himself. Her crying made him feel ashamed. If he could feel ashamed. My brother ate my sister. If Mother knew or not, I do not know. Mother wanted to know, but when she was crying she couldn't explain why. Perhaps she thought it wasn't right to. I remember, when I was 4 or 5, relaxing in the cool air outside the hall. My brother told me that when one's parents were ill, a good son would slice off their flesh, boil it, and serve it to them. My mother didn't contradict him. If one piece of flesh can be eaten, so can everything else. But that day, when I think back on the way I was crying, it still grieves me. That is the strangest thing. 12. Can't think about it. I realize today that I'm in a place where people have been eaten for 4,000 years. My brother was in charge of the house when my sister died. He could have secretly put her in the food for us to eat. I might have accidentally eaten some of my sister's flesh. Now it's my turn. Although at first I didn't understand it. Now I do. In 4,000 years of history, it is hard to find true people. 13. Are there still children who have not yet eaten human flesh? Save the children.